OH,
IO.
welcome back to Hill Talk Sports Season number 2 with TJ Hill and Scott Kennison. And we have our producer extraordinaire, Lewis Gleason, controlling everything from a disclosed location. And we're back with Season 2. We're going to rock this the same way we did Season 1. Maybe better this time. We got a little more seasons, I want to say. Scott, how have you been? It's been a long time.
It has been a busy summer, my friend. An
Yes, it
absolute
has.
busy summer. New
Indeed, indeed.
baby, new job, lots
New
of
job.
changes, but all good
What?
changes,
New
man. All good
job?
changes.
One of the
Yes,
reasons we
sir.
took a hiatus was because of that. You and Lewis both had kids at the same time, so it's kind of like, you know what? Let's take a break here. You guys had newborns, so we all felt like it was time for us to take a break. Plus, we had baseball going on. NBA season was coming to an end. There was really nothing for us to talk about. I mean, yeah, we talk about sports, but our forte is not baseball and hockey or whatever else you may say. So I think it's a good idea to take a break for a while. Football season starting up now. We had the Hall of Fame game a couple weeks ago, and now we are into the getting ready to start the regular season in a couple weeks. So we're going to break down a little bit tonight, talk about Browns preseason game a little bit, talk about um, the Browns with or without Deshaun, because I think it's mixed feelings right now. Who knows what's going to happen? Because this guy is not. I thought this was supposed to be an expedited decision.
There's
What's
no
happening?
expedited
What's
decision on
what's
any of
going on?
this.
Why are we so slow with this? Like, can we just get a
I mean,
decision?
this is going to play out forever. And look, if I was a conspiracy theorist,
Dun, dun,
science,
dun. Dun,
if
dun,
that was me,
dun.
I would say that the NFL is dragging this out and that they are appealing their own decision so that they can let Deshaun Watson appeal the appeal and be able to play the entire season while the appeal is out there. And that's what's best secretly for the competitive nature of the brand.
But
The
you
NFL
can't do
has to
that.
look like the NFL has to look like to the public that it's trying to go for the kill.
But he
Yet
can't.
by doing it the way they're doing it, they might be playing right into his hands to letting him play the entire season.
He can't play the entire season though. I mean, the best he can do is come back week 7.
He
The
can't
week,
if he
the 6 is
appeals.
already done. The 6 is
Yeah,
already
but
in the books.
so no matter what happens,
From what I've been reading, no matter what happens with this new guy, he is missing the first 6 games no matter what. Because
I just wonder what happens if he tries to appeal the whole thing to federal court and federal court comes in and grants him a whole stay.
what
Because
they messed
federal
up
court
with
can
this,
trump collective bargaining agreement.
they probably could do that, but the problem is that the NFLPA has already agreed not to say anything about the first 6 games. They agreed upon that. Now, from what I understand, Deshaun Watson is saying, "I'll take 8 games and $5 million as a penalty." But anything if they give him 9 games, he's going to sue. 8 games, he's going to sit back and say, "Relax." That's what I'm hearing. So we have to see how this all plays out. But he looked horrible.
I mean, yeah,
Granted,
there's no other way to say that.
he didn't have all the starters. Schwartz was horrible in and out of his hand. Like the balls he did get to Schwartz, he dropped them. So where are we doing here?
Well, I mean, Greg Quincy Schwartz, better start catching passes or it's about the end for him. He stops running his routes when he hears footsteps. He doesn't catch passes when he hears footsteps. He's got a whole ton of talent,
Yeah.
but in the
Well,
end, somehow
speed. He got a ton of speed. Does he have talent?
doesn't
Does
put
he
it
have
together.
talent?
I believe he has all the talent in the world. He doesn't seem to want to finish his routes in traffic, and he doesn't seem to want to catch the ball in traffic. And I don't blame him. If I had guys the size of a refrigerator running 4.2 40s about to hit me after I caught the ball unprotected, I wouldn't be focusing on catching the ball either. So, but you're a professional wide receiver, so you know you kind of gotta suck it up and take the hit.
I mean, I agree with you. I think the problem with the Browns right now is, well, one, okay, so I said that he looked horrible. He didn't have his main core receivers, or did he have the starting line? couple of guys
I
starting right
had Nick
without teammates.
Harris. He had Nick Harris for a snap. I guess I shouldn't
Dude,
laugh about that, but
that's crazy.
jeez.
So that you brought that up now, should we go back and get JC Treader? He ain't playing for a team right now. Or is the bridge burning with that?
I mean, if I could get JC Treader, I sure would right now. I mean, it
you
sounds
got
like
your backup starting right now. You got your backup. Now, they had mentioned you got 4/5 of your line from last year healthy, ready to go. The new guy was a center. 2 plays in, he gets hurt. Now you got
look,
your backup. You really got your third string center, starting center now. That's a problem.
I
He
mean,
did okay. Here's the issue. You got Jacoby out there. He's going to go out there and he's going to do the best he can possibly do. Dobbs did not look bad to me. Not saying he's going to be the guy, but Dobbs looked comfortable out there. He made some good plays. He didn't turn over the ball. He looked good. Now, can he do that for 6 to 8 games? Who knows? Because the problem you have is people keep saying this over and over again. They're going to jinx us. Knock on wood. What if Brissett gets hurt? And they keep hearing it over and over and over again. What if he gets hurt? Truth be told, if Deshaun wasn't suspended, what if he got hurt? Then what? So you got.
you can always ask the question: what if you get hurt? I mean, honestly, yeah. Jacoby Brissett needs game reps. You only have 3 preseason games. You better go out and get him some reps right now.
Well, I guess he's taking
get him in sync.
He's taking the majority of the snaps in practice, I guess now. So let's talk about the if.
Boy, if you could get JC Treader for a 1-year contract and rent him for a year, I would do it. But I mean, what is the relationship there?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. I don't know why he's not here anymore. Was it a contract dispute? Was it just they released him to save money? What's the issue? Another issue you have is Kareem Hunt wants to stay here for a longer period of time than just 1 year. Brown said, I'm not going to sign you right now. Well, I want to be traded. Now the Browns are like, no, we ain't going to trade you. So now he's sitting back here upset. And somebody that doesn't even talk is now being vocal, Nick Chubb. So you have your running back room, which is a little disgruntled right now because you got your superstar running back who never even really talks a lot, voicing his concerns about his teammate and best friend on and off the field. He made that known that he wants him here. Now, there's a number of reasons that you want Kareem Hunt to be your backup or your /A1 running back. One, it saves your body. Takes reps off of you. Running backs don't have a long period of time in the NFL. So therefore, if you splitting the carries with Kareem Hunt, or even if you getting 20 carries, he getting 10, 15, that's still 15 less carries you got to worry about. That saves your body. You play longer. That's another reason you want to have him here. Dearness Johnson, we talked about the other day, I think you said he's going to be a trade bait because he got 1 year left also, and he's cheap. Ford is the diamond in the rough we're talking about here because that kid had a decent game. He did pretty good. Now, one of my buddies said that he thinks Ford is faster than Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. What do you think?
I'd have to go watch more, but I definitely see explosiveness there. And what I saw that was incredibly dynamic was that cut that he made. And I mean, that
was a nice cut.
Changed directions on a dime. And Nick Chubb is very good because he keeps his feet moving, he keeps his balance, and allows him to change directions. That cut, that jump cut that he made to break that, I mean, that's
nice.
You have that or you don't. I mean, and there was some explosiveness there that, I mean, that to me was what was most telling about any of it. It's something Ernest Johnson doesn't have, and combine the power with the speed. It's something Felton doesn't have. I don't know if he's as rounded as Nick Chubb, but there's definitely potential there. And I'm going to be honest, I like Kareem Hunt's talent. I like to run the football. I really like to run the football. Okay. But the bottom line to this is the Cleveland Browns don't have the cap space to afford to spend the money they're going to need to spend to keep Kareem Hunt here. He wants more money. And if Kareem Hunt wants to play here for the money he's making and be in that spot, then fine. But if Kareem Hunt needs more money to stay here, as running back 2 when you've got a guy like Ford on the bench and you've got a guy like Dearness Johnson on the bench and you've got Felton, it's pointlessly stupid to keep him here. I understand about keeping depth and keeping talent and what if Chubb goes down. I get that. I completely get that. But at some point, you can't just keep signing everybody. They've got a ton of money invested in that offensive line. They've got Myles Garrett. You got money invested in him. You got money invested in Ward. You got money invested in that secondary. JOK is going to need money here soon. You've got an ungodly amount of money invested in Deshaun Watson. You just paid David Njoku a boatload of money, which is what triggered Kareem Hunt wanting more money. You have money all over the place. At some point, you've hit your cap space, and there's no more money to spend. And it's just that simple.
What is the current situation with the cap space?
They got $18 million. And I think that's based on how Deshaun Watson is scheduled right now with $18 million. Well, Deshaun Watson's contract is backloaded.
Okay, so you're getting $1 million this year. Well, he won't get $1 million this year, I don't think. But
he's getting, I think, $3 million or something this year against the cap.
No, it was $1 million.
But
you talking about against the cap?
Yeah, I could be wrong. I thought it was
$1 million this year, and then everything is coming in 4 years.
Million, but
I thought they structured it this year for $1 million in case he got suspended, and that's why the owners are mad. Owners are mad, number one, because you guarantee the quarterback. Where's it going? Because you guarantee the quarterback $230 million, and you guarantee the whole contract. That's why they're pissed off. So I don't know. See, the thing about it is the owners supposedly are pissed off about the whole contract situation, but no one else has budged on that. All the other quarterbacks that have signed so far haven't got fully guaranteed contracts. So what's the anger at? Like, why are you mad about the Browns doing this when you don't do it yourself? Baltimore didn't do that. I don't think Baltimore signed Lamar yet, did they?
No, but it sets precedence. And the next time there's a negotiation, someone's going to say the Cleveland Browns guaranteed it all. Look, I think it's a joke anyway. I think a contract is a contract and it should be guaranteed money. The NFL's contract is the most non-contract contract I've ever seen. Okay? We're going to play you. We're going to pay you if you play. But we can also terminate you on that contract and not pay you out anything other than the guaranteed money. And players can sit there and say, well, I'm just not going to play. It's a contract. You signed a contract. None of this stuff that says I can decide I'm just not going to play and not get paid halfway through. And the team can just say, well, he used to be good, but he's not good anymore. So I'm just going to cut him. And I only owe him the rest of his guaranteed money. Garbage. It's not a contract. It means nothing at that point. I mean, Bobby Bonilla is still getting paid $1 million on Bobby Bonilla Day every year. That's a contract. That is a contract. You know, when a team signed Albert Pujols to that massive contract, they had to know that at some point they're going to be paying him God knows how much money a year when he wasn't worth any of it. But that's what a contract is. That's why you lock it up long term. There's no point to sign a long-term contract in the NFL. Why would I sign up? If you started guaranteeing the money, you might be able to sign people to 7-8-year contracts. Because you actually had to pay the money. And you might be willing to do it because they just couldn't break out of a contract. The NFL has the worst contract system of any of these leagues. It's stupid. And I know the NFL doesn't want to do it because there's so many injuries in the NFL. Well, screw that. This is contracted money. Maybe you wouldn't have to pay people ungodly contracts. You could pay them a little bit lower on the contract if you guarantee the money.
What, Scott, you okay there? You got a little ranty there for a minute. You gonna go rant?
Just a little ranty.
Just a little rant? Okay. It's been a long time, man. Waiting for that rant to come through. All right.
So I'm seeing what Lou is posting in there. Ford is a 4.46 40 and Chubb is a 4.52. So there's a hair more speed.
Yeah.
In him than both of them. Hunt's 4.6, Chubb is 4.52, and Ford is 4.4. So I mean, look, you got a dynamic running. I don't know. I'm going to be honest with you. The Browns need to get rid of Kareem Hunt while they still can for value. You're going to need draft picks. You sent a boatload of draft picks away to get Deshaun Watson, and we still haven't come back to talking about Deshaun Watson, and that's okay. But and we're going to. But the bottom line is right now, Kareem Hunt is $6.25 million against the cap. Deshaun Watson's 9.6 this year, but Kareem Hunt is 2.87% of your cap space. To give you comparative, Nick Chubb is 2.47. At some point, he's more on your cap than Amari Cooper. He's more on your cap than Denzel Ward this year. He's more on your cap than Jedrick Wills. I mean, only Garrett, Conklin, Watson, and John Johnson and Bitonio have a bigger cap hit this year. He's got a dead cap of $1.5 million. And what I see, the estimated cap space for the Browns for the entire team is $18 million is what they have left. Their adjusted salary cap is $217.7 million. Active contracts are $166 million. Dead cap is $29 million. And they've got a $10 million rollover. So that puts them at $199 million against the cap. So they don't have a whole ton of cap space coming to add to this team at some point. So
with that being said, the window to win is now.
Yeah, because I don't think you can bring Jadeveon Clowney back again next year.
So here's the problem I have with all this.
And that's huge.
Was it a better idea with what you just said? I took everything you just said with the numbers and stuff. Was it better to have let Deshaun go, not go after him?
What am I looking at? Jadeveon Clowney's here. Jadeveon Clowney's here through 20. Oh, never mind. He's an unrestricted free agent in 2023.
1 year, right?
So, yeah, it's a 1 year.
So with all you just said with the contracts and everything, would it have been a better idea to run it back with Baker instead of going after the Watson?
Oh, man. So I feel like anyone who's talked to me in the last 3 months is going to think I'm only saying this because of my known opinion on Deshaun Watson, the person right now. We're going to leave all of that out of this.
Are we?
And let me say, we're going to do this analysis without any conversation about Deshaun Watson.
Straight football. Let's go straight football.
Straight football. I think Deshaun Watson is a significant upgrade over Baker Mayfield. Yeah, I know he looked like garbage Friday night. The man hasn't played in forever. He doesn't have live game reps. Right. He hasn't played since 2021. He doesn't have any live game reps going on. He's got limited camp. His head has to be a mess right now. So, I mean, yeah, he right. I mean, he threw a pass to David Njoku that Manute Bol couldn't catch. And then he hit another guy in the foot. And, everyone's talking about that play where Schwartz dropped that one where he scrambled to keep it alive and he found him. I mean, look, people are going to say you're nitpicking here, but ball should have been out to the slot receiver on the top of the screen 2 seconds in before he had to scramble and keep it alive because you had a linebacker trying to cover that spot. The safety had vacated where the route was running. What I'm looking at, and maybe I need to see the all 22 a little higher, but it's at least a completed pass for a first down if it's not a touchdown. And Watson is looking right at him and doesn't pull the trigger. But again, that's all rust. I think Deshaun Watson is a major upgrade over Baker Mayfield, but I don't know that. And this is my problem. You gave the man, $285 million guaranteed? Or was it 225?
230.
230. 230. Neither one's right. You gave him 230 guaranteed over 5 years. And you traded away 3 first-round draft picks, plus more. Mm-hmm. Locked yourself in a limited position in the cap to be able to go improve this team in other spots if you need to. On 4 seasons of work, 2 of those seasons were very good. One of those seasons was very good statistically, but very horrible on the record book, and I know he had a horrible team. But we gave this guy the amount of money that he better be Tom Brady for the amount of money you're giving him. He better be better than Tom Brady for the amount of money you're giving him. You guaranteed it all.
Yeah, you did.
Guaranteed every bit of it. And here's the thing. Even if he gets back on the field and knocks the game rust off, he may never mentally be the same person after this.
He won't be.
He is a hated man.
He'll be okay.
Hated man.
He'll be okay because Big Ben was okay. But Big Ben, you know why they'd be okay? You know why they'd be okay? Because they don't care. They don't
Possibly.
care. What she put in her report, he had no remorse for what he did. He don't care what he did. He
Yep.
apologized last week because they told him to apologize. If you really were sincere about what you did and sorry for what you did, you would apologize back. You were still with Houston. You didn't. He didn't care.
I'm just
He's
going to be
trying to
honest.
make himself look good in the public light. It's too late for
Yeah.
that.
If there were no allegations, I'm going to be honest with you on this. No allegations. I'm not guaranteeing someone $230 million over 5 years and trading 3 first-round draft picks to get this quarterback who has 4 seasons under his belt, and I think he's a top 5 quarterback in the league. I need and that is a huge contract and a huge trade. And here's the thing: if he's not the man, the Cleveland Browns are screwed.
Very much so.
I mean,
you said it's back 15 years with this, if not more.
At least 5.
The window,
and the problem
now.
is at the end of 5, you're going to be rebuilding. So
That's
you're going to be another 5 years. So you're 10 to 15 years if this is wrong, right?
Think about it. We opened back up in 1999. It is 2022, and we're just now getting to the point where it's like, ooh, we're gonna be good.
Well, technically, we were there in 2002, and then Butch Davis lost his mind and crapped his pants on the sideline. And
were we there? We had a good season. We had a fluke season, or were we there?
No, we were there. We were competitive.
So?
That was a good team. That was a good team in 2002.
Then you drop off how many more years after that?
Yeah, 2003 was still decent, and then 2007 you were very good. You went backwards. You pulled the plug, and you got there again under the first year of high school Mike Pettin, and then you went through some more coaches, and so
Mike Pettin.
The Browns were close. Shout out to Jason Snyder, high school Mike. You got there.
Stop bullshitting,
you got
Jay.
there a few times, but the problem is then you just kept blowing it up. You're here right now. The window is open. And the window is very open right now, which is why they don't want to trade Kareem Hunt. But I'm going to be honest with you. I would trade him because you're going to need that asset. And
trade him for what? Trade him for what? What do you get for him? What would you trade him for?
I would be fine.
Don't say Jimmy Damn G.
No, I'd be fine with a 3rd-round draft pick.
Get back into it. Yeah. Now, so we gave our
I'd be fine clearing the cap space and getting a draft pick.
So we gave away our 3 draft picks. Now, I want to touch on.
I'm going to be honest. I'm hoping that they're right. One more thing before we switch there. I'm hoping that the Browns are right and Deshaun Watson is the quarterback that they think he is. I'm hoping that we just locked up the next coming of Aaron Rodgers or Johnny Unitas, or Tom Brady, and that we've got the best quarterback in the league for the next 5 years. But I don't know. And I think the book is out. And with the book being out, I don't think you can throw this type of money and this type of contract. And what really kills me about it is the draft picks that you gave away. In addition to that, you don't have a chance to build this team through the draft. And whether you pay the cost now or whether you pay the cost 6 or 7 years from now when you still have Deshaun Watson as an elite quarterback, but you don't have draft picks to replenish what's around him, and you're in cap hell because you're paying him at that point, there's a cost to pay for this. And the thing is, it's going to come down to how much better than the best version of Baker Mayfield is Deshaun Watson. Because if the best version of Baker Mayfield is 2020 Baker Mayfield and a top 12 quarterback, then no matter what Deshaun Watson does, this was a bad trade. The key to this is more what Baker Mayfield does almost. If we get 2021 Baker Mayfield, then okay. If the rest of his career, he's 2019 and 2021 Baker Mayfield, then this was the right trade. Assuming Deshaun Watson plays.
He'll play. Matter of when. He's going to play. It's a matter of when he's going to play.
There's more risks to this. And I know, I don't know. Do you want to talk not football about it? But there's more risk to this trade.
It's just, he went all in. They went all in. They said, you know what? Our window's now. Let's upgrade quarterback. Yeah. Let's go for it. Let's see what happens. They took a big risk. And here's the issue. Here's the issue I have with the Browns. If we don't have a parade the next 4 years, it was bad. It's everything or nothing.
Yeah.
You took that huge gamble.
This is a Super Bowl or bust trade.
It's not playoffs we're talking about. It's not playoffs. It's the whole thing. And it's not going, it's winning it.
Let
They
me
have
ask
to
this.
win it.
Yeah. When LeBron James came back and you traded Wiggins and you made that trade for Kevin Love, everybody said that for that trade to be right, you had to win at least a championship and probably championships.
True.
Was it the right trade?
Yes.
Or should we have kept Andrew Wiggins and maybe at that point been able to have some cap space to keep Kyrie and LeBron happy? Or had we kept Wiggins when LeBron and Kyrie busted out, we might have still had Wiggins and some more cap space and resources to be able to rebuild. And might we be farther along as a team than we are now? So you got one championship for the investment in LeBron James and trading away what you did to get Kevin Love. Was it worth it? I say yes, because that was a magical season and a magical moment.
I say
But if
yes,
you
sir.
don't, and the thing is, on some levels, it's debatable how right
Why?
that trade was.
Got championship.
Because you should have probably got more.
You went 1-3. Now, yeah, if Kyrie hadn't got hurt, Kevin got hurt, I do believe they would have. I believe they went 2 for 2. Honestly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because that Durant year was impossible. I'm sorry. That was too much.
I mean, that was unfair.
That was too much.
But
you might have went 1-3. You might have went 1-3. It depends on how it flowed, but definitely 2-2.
There's things that could have happened in that series.
Was it that first finals? Was the first finals where they got hurt? Kevin Love
they got hurt in that one. They should have won that first finals.
They
were the better team at that point.
16 one, definitely, yeah.
Yep.
But
and
2 for 2.
There's some things that could have happened in that third one that didn't happen in game 2 that had to happen.
Yeah.
And look, if Hill makes his free throw in game 1 of the one they got swept, LeBron might not go in. Just remember something. LeBron James punched the whiteboard after they lost that game when he scored 51 points. And we all at this point pretty much know the whiteboard is code for J.R. Smith, who ran the clock out thinking they were up.
Yeah.
But and then he played the rest of that series with one hand. That might have been he almost willed them to victory. We'll talk about
LeBron a little bit later when we end the show, because
I want
to bring that something about LeBron later on.
You got to win a Super Bowl. This trade is no good if you don't win a Super Bowl. It's the worst trade in the history of the NFL if you don't win a Super Bowl.
I agree. I fully agree with you. I think that in the next 4 years, you have a parade downtown, or it's a bust.
Let me ask you another question. Let me ask you just one more question. It's the only non-football question.
Okay.
And this is just to put the risk out there. 6 games, maybe 8, maybe a season for allegations settled outside of court, not one criminal charge filed. What happens in training camp 2023 if somebody makes another allegation? True, false, nothing to it, looking for a settlement, looking for money. What happens if another allegation's made? What does the NFL do at that point?
Nothing you can do. You already took the punishment. You can't go back and suspend them again.
Sure, they could suspend him again for violation of the conduct policy, the same
way
they did.
You got to prove something.
They don't have to prove something this time.
They got some stuff, though. They got some smoke there.
Nothing conclusive.
But it's smoke. Enough smoke. Enough smoke is there. Plus, okay, you said a allegation, right? Whoa. You said a allegation. There were over 20 allegations. That's
I'm gonna guarantee you. I will guarantee you if there's more allegations that are deemed credible against him, and even if it's only one, Raj is coming in for the kill. He's trying to go for the kill now.
I think it's done. I
hope so.
I think it's done. If anybody gonna come out right now with an allegation, I think it'd be done already.
Maybe.
I think it's over.
All right. Here's the second one. Allegedly. Let's go allegedly, because I don't know. What if it's true? What if all 30 allegations are true? Hypothetically, all 30 allegations are true. Let's set that as the condition here. What do you think the likelihood is that it never happens again if all 30 are true?
Well, it ain't gonna happen no more. If Deshaun Watson decides to get a massage by anybody other than somebody related to the Browns, he needs to be kicked out of the league. Period. I'm going with that. I'm going with that.
He was
because
looking
they've
for
already
these
told the
masseuses
man
on Instagram and not caring about their credentials.
he's trying to get a nut. Let's keep it real.
He was DMing on Instagram and didn't care about the credentials.
He was
If
trying to
it's all
bust.
true,
We know that
okay.
already. We know what he was
Okay.
doing. And
So you
no
think there's
sugarcoating
no
what he was doing.
possibility that if these were all
Another
that if
allegation?
the allegations are true, that it's gonna happen again?
I don't think all 23 were true. No. I would go with I'll go with half. I'll give you half. I'll give you half of that. The other ones are money grabs. Think about it. There's one woman that hasn't settled yet. Why? Everybody got their money. Yep. Sean Watson will get team approved massages to therapists recommended by the NFL per Judge Steve Robinson's ruling. So now, that being said,
If he follows that.
What I just say, if you don't follow that, bye. Because there should be something put in there that says if he doesn't follow this, he's gone. And that contract should be voided. Now, I heard there's something in the clause that the Browns can actually get out of this contract. I haven't seen it yet. I'm trying to find it to where there's a clause in there they can get out of this. I mean, if they suspend him indefinitely, say Roger Goodell says, I want 2 years. Now what? Now what you do? You're screwed.
Oh, they want indefinitely with able to apply for reinstatement next year.
They want Josh Gordon his ass. That's what they want to do.
Yes.
They want Josh Gordon.
Look, it is obvious to me, and I'll tell you why the NFL wants to do it. Because as soon as he takes the field, there will be activist groups in this country that don't just protest the NFL. They will go after the advertising dollars that fuel the NFL. They will go after the stations that broadcast the NFL's games. They will go after the people that are paying for those advertisements in the stadium. And that's what Roger Goodell is trying to protect. No one man is bigger than the shield. No one man is more important than the shield. And Roger is trying to make sure, if you asked Roger, he would rather never let him play another game in the NFL again, because that is safer for the NFL financially than to let this man play.
Let me ask you a question. What about the owners that have done stuff? Now, I'm not comparing what they've done, but I'm saying, is there a code of conduct for owners as there are for players?
There really should be.
Well, if it isn't, that's a problem. Why are you sitting up here saying out loud that we hold the owners to a certain accountability in the players, but the players do stuff, you throw out fines, suspensions, whatever else, but the owners do something egregious, and it's like,
the problem with that is the owner of a company never gets fired for his or her own behavior, and that's just, it's not right, but that's just the way the world works.
Well, that's not entirely true.
Well, if you're a publicly traded company and you're the owner, you can get fired. But if you're a private company,
Vince is gone,
and it's your company, yeah, but that's a publicly traded company. If you're a private company, okay, and there's not stockholders, you're not firing yourself for your own unethical behavior. Think about that.
Crazy.
You're never going to fire yourself for your own unethical behavior. You may sell your ownership to somebody else, but you're not just going to get fired. And I mean,
that's wild.
Okay, so that's good. The owners should have a code of conduct, and they do. And they do, according to Lou. So that's good. That's good.
Well, I mean, now, obviously, it's
time to go after the owners as aggressively as you just listen. You went after Deshaun Watson aggressively.
Well, for the owners.
That means the next person who screws up, whether it's Deshaun Watson or whether it's Jerry Jones, you go after just as aggressively. And if you don't, you're a massive hypocrite, and maybe worse. I mean, you better go after the owners the next time something like this happens.
I put money on they won't do it. They're not going to do it.
And I agree with you. And that's, look, I'm going to be honest with you. I said before that parts of me still feel morally compromised about watching and rooting for the Browns at this point. I'm going to root for the Browns because no one player defines the team. And I'm going to have to separate my feelings for Deshaun Watson, the human being, from the Cleveland Browns football team. But, I mean, and then again, I was raised Christian in a Baptist church, and I remember Romans 3:23, for all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. So who am I to sit in judgment? So, ultimately, we all have our sins and we all have our mistakes that we've made in life. I don't have 30 women accusing me of allegations like Deshaun Watson, but I mean, ultimately, you have to, at some point, this is what it is. But at the same time, this has made me really reevaluate the NFL entirely across the board as an organization morally.
Yes.
And it's, in a lot of ways, it's sickening. And it's not just this. It's not just teams willing to pay Deshaun Watson and look the other way. It's what happened to Colin Kaepernick because he took a knee. And you can't tell me, listen, Colin Kaepernick is not as great a quarterback as people say, but he's a man who was a play away from winning a Super Bowl. Colin Kaepernick should not have been out of the league. Colin Kaepernick was out of the league because he was toxic, because he tried to bring awareness to something and make people see something from a different perspective. And he was attacked for insulting veterans, which had nothing to ever do with, and no one would even listen to the man to say, this is what I was actually protesting. And he's out of the league. That's despicable. It goes back to trying to cover up what they knew about concussions, to cover up what they knew about CTE. The fact that they knew this stuff and they tried to bury it, not only because it would hurt the game in the moment, but it would hurt the future of the game. They try to sit there and say they can improve helmet technology to stop concussions. You can't stop concussions with a thicker helmet, people. The damage isn't made when your head collides with the head. It's when the brain inside of your head keeps going at 20 miles an hour and slams into your skull. So whatever happens, the concussion is when you go from running at full speed, 20 miles an hour, to zero. You don't have to be hit in the head to have a concussion. Your momentum stops. Your brain keeps going forward in your head for a second and slams into the skull.
Yep.
And that's where you get a concussion. So Wes Welker's bubble helmet can't stop that. The bottom line is the NFL is despicable. The NFL is evil in so many ways. And I'll go back to this. They've done studies. If you played football at any level after high school, you have some level of CTE. Every brain they studied at the college to NFL level, and even at most of them at the high school level. I mean, the study really said if you played past Pop Warner, you have some form of CTE.
Thank you. Because I've had a few.
Quite all
honestly,
I've had a few. I'm glad I have a daughter and not a son, because I'm
pretty
sure
she can play.
Yeah, and if she can play and wants to play, I will let her make her own decision.
Well, my daughter
but I'll be conflicted about it, because I'm going to be honest. I would be really hard pressed as a father to want to let my child play tackle football, knowing that it is a guarantee at that level that he will come out of there with some form of brain damage.
Well, my daughter plays rugby. So they have no helmets, they got a mouthpiece, dude. So
that's even worse.
That's a concern of mine, that she getting her head rattled up or getting dropped. She got dropped one day at practice on her head.
It's not even studied. It could be the same thing.
Exactly the same thing. Hockey, hitting the head with a baseball, basketball. Getting an elbow to the face.
Nothing like an
elbow to the face. Take an elbow to the face from LeBron James.
Right.
That's going to be hurting.
To me, the three most dangerous sports in the world have to be football, boxing, and MMA.
Yeah, even pro wrestling is dangerous.
Yeah,
the bumps they take.
If you do those sports, you're coming out with brain damage.
Remember Jamie Noble?
Yeah,
he wrestled Sheamus. I played it again a couple days ago. He wrestled Sheamus, and he never wrestled again after Sheamus did him what he did. I don't know if it was a beef backstage or what, but he beat that kid so bad he never wrestled again. It was the worst thing I think I've ever seen, as far as like a match where he just literally powerbombed him on the outside of the ring onto the mat. And the mat only so thick, but the force he used was like, why are you mad, bro? It was bad. But I digress. Those are very dangerous sports. There's really no safeguarding anybody with something like that. But I'm going to move on real fast because we're
it's
getting
tough.
towards the end here.
I almost have to forget and just go back to saying the world's a scummy place, and I enjoy watching football.
I like violence, though. I love it all.
Whether it's college football or NFL football, it's a cesspool.
Very true. I want to talk about Bill Russell real fast. Bill Russell passed away, I think about 2 weeks ago now, somewhere around there.
End of July, I thought, like July
End of
30th
July.
or 31st.
The NBA has decided to retire his number league-wide. I like it and I dislike it. This is why I dislike it. Now, immediately I thought this in my head. Then I saw a guy on ESPN say the same thing I'm saying right now. Why did you wait till he died to retire his number? If you think this man is such a great player, an ambassador in civil rights, an ambassador for your league, he never embarrassed your league not one time. He marched with Martin Luther King. He was with Muhammad Ali. He did all these great things. He won 11 titles in 13 years. But we say Jordan is the best. We can argue about that later. Now, you wait till he dies. 88 years old. You could retire his number. He was 80. Technically.
Could have retired his number the moment he retired from the league.
Okay, so why are we doing this when he died? Why not honor the man while he's alive so he can actually be in Boston, season opener? They retire his number. That's a great thing to achieve with him sitting right there. Like another thing they do, the NFL does the same thing. It makes me mad too. They wait till the guys die and put him in the Hall of Fame. Like, his family's honoring him. No, do that. If he's that good, do it now. If he passes 5 years, like Joe Thomas up next year, they say he's gonna make it in. He probably will, but you're gonna wait till the minute. You're gonna wait. Clay Matthews in the Hall of Fame. He ain't in the Hall of Fame, is he?
No.
One of the greatest linebackers I think ever lived, probably in my book. He ain't in. He ain't even up for a ballot. I don't hear his name on the ballot anymore. And here we are, got all these guys out here that have passed away years and years and years, and then we say, "Oh, we're gonna honor him now." What if he ain't got no family? Then what? You're gonna have one of his best fans sit there and do the acceptance speech? Honor the people that you want to honor while they're alive. Stop waiting until they die to give them their flowers, as they say. What do you
Correct. Think? No, this is silly.
It's stupid. It made me. I'm glad it happened, but it made me mad at the same time. And I think honestly, every NBA player out there that has 6 should not wear it next year.
I feel that it's almost as if the NBA wasn't thinking about it, and somebody came and said, "Hey, Bill Russell died. What should we do?" And someone said, "Why don't we retire his number league wide?" And just nobody thought any more about it. Or they said, "Oh, it makes me realize that you didn't care about everything. I mean, if you waited till this moment, you didn't really think all of what he did and his achievements and his off-court accomplishments mattered. All of a sudden now, though, that he has passed, you need to do something. And you're going, oh, crap, man, this guy was a giant, an absolute giant that we forgot about in the Bird, Jordan, Magic era, Kobe, LeBron. You got to, a casual basketball fan, if you ask them for one of the greatest players of all time, isn't going to say Bill Russell. And they should. They really should.
Absolutely should.
And then you add in the stuff that he did off the court. This is a guy's number that should have been retired a long time ago. But it also creates problems. You're going to do that. You need to do it when it makes sense. You need to do that earlier because, I agree with the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat have a problem here. You're going to tell them they can't co-retire Bill Russell's 6 with LeBron James's 6?
No.
Why shouldn't the Miami Heat be able to retire that number for LeBron James? He's the greatest player the franchise ever had.
I don't agree with that.
You're going to tell a team that they can't co-retire it.
Nah, I'm with that. No. It's Bill Russell, man. What's LeBron's record in the finals? How many rings LeBron got? Man, how many he got?
4.
He got 4 rings. And how many tries? Like 9?
Yeah, a bunch of those tries. You had people like Sasha Pavlovich and the reanimated corpse of Mike Miller.
We ain't talking about who we had. I'm asking you simply stick to the numbers here. Let's go numbers. Because everybody thinks numbers mean championships and they're the greatest.
You got to be real careful with that argument.
He got 4 championships, right?
Yeah.
Out of 9 tries, am I right?
He's got 2 with
10.
Miami, 1 with Cleveland, and 1 with LA, correct?
So he got 4. So how many times? I know he went
Yeah.
8 in a row when he was with Miami and Cleveland, 8 in a row.
Yep.
So that's 9. He went with Cleveland earlier. Then he went, so 10 finals.
Yeah.
So he went to 10 finals, won 4. Okay. Been playing how many years?
Started in what, 2003?
I
So
believe
18.
So 18 years in the game. You got 10 championship appearances. You got 4 rings. Bill Russell had 13 years and 11 rings. No, we ain't retiring LeBron James' number in Miami with Bill Russell. I wouldn't do it. That's just me.
I mean, he didn't play for Miami.
I
mean,
mean, I wouldn't say he was the greatest player in Miami history. I mean, that team would have been nothing without Wade. That's Wade's team all day. He spent 4 years there, dude.
Come on, man.
He spent 4 years and won 2 titles, bro.
Stop it.
Come on. Ain't you stopping it? That's Wade's team. It still is.
Never. No. That's
was
Dwayne
never
Wade's
Wade's team.
team. No,
was
that
Dwayne
was
Wade's
LeBron
team.
James's team as soon as LeBron got there and Dwayne told him, this is your team now.
He rented that shit for a couple of years. That's all. He rented it for 4 years and won 2 titles. You don't get retired for winning 2 titles, bro.
Dwayne Wade is a fine basketball player. Very good basketball player. Dwayne Wade is not in the conversation for the top 10 basketball players of all time.
You going to retire him for winning 2 titles? 2 titles?
If
he won 4 titles, man, retire it. Yeah, all day. He won 2 titles, bro.
Every team that LeBron James has played on should have his number retired in the rafters. And here's why.
Talk to me.
Here's why. The man is simply either the best or the second best basketball player to ever play the game. Because
based on his on-court.
This is a team game. If you want to talk to me about championships and counting championships in an individual game to determine who's better than who, I will listen to you. But you got to be very careful on that right now, because if I ask you who's the best golfer to ever play the game, and you're going to title it on major championships, you've got to answer Jack Nicklaus, because Tiger Woods only won 15.
Okay.
And I'm going to tell you, Jack doesn't have a shot in hell of beating prime Tiger. Tiger at his best, off the Tiger Slam, Jack can't hang. And I know that because I've watched him golf. And here's the thing. Bill Russell can't do what LeBron James can do on the court, and LeBron James can do every single thing on the court that Bill Russell can do, and probably do it better than him.
That makes him better.
Absolutely. How does it not? He can do. Here's the thing: every single thing Bill Russell can do, LeBron James can do, and he can do it better. That means he's the better player.
LeBron's the best.
It's LeBron or it's Jordan, and again,
but Jordan can't do everything LeBron could do.
Jordan cannot do everything LeBron can do, and LeBron can do everything. In my opinion, yes, LeBron James is the best player to ever play the game. And I can't judge it on championships because there's so much that is not equal, okay? Yeah, Jordan played some great teams, but I'm going to tell you, Jordan didn't play a team once as good as those Golden State Warrior teams that put LeBron down. And I'm going to tell you, Michael Jordan never went into a finals with the team as bad as LeBron James did that first year in Cleveland after Kyrie went down, or that first year in Cleveland against Detroit. And I'm going to tell you, Michael Jordan never single-handedly willed his team to the number 1 seed at the level that LeBron James did. Yeah, there's another problem.
Good point.
Is Julius Erving, is Dr. J no longer retired? Do you have to unretire Dr. J's jersey?
You have to unretire his jersey. You have to it's already done. You can't unretire his jersey.
I'm going to give you another name here.
I'm saying going forward, I wouldn't do that.
Here's another name. And you got to be real careful if we're going to talk about championships.
2 titles, man. I'm still.
Where does Otto Graham rate in the list of greatest quarterbacks to ever play the game?
No idea.
The man won or played for a championship every year that he was in the league.
Okay.
Does that matter?
Yes,
Should it matter?
He was great.
Because if we're counting championships, that might make him. I mean,
but you say we can't count championships. You just said
I know.
We can't count championships.
Got to be careful judging it.
Well, so a lot of people do.
Yeah,
A
I mean,
lot
look,
of people base their arguments about Jordan being the greatest based on him winning 6 rings. That's what they base it on. I've always had the argument with people saying this. When it came to LeBron and Jordan, I always said this when I argue people about it out in public. I say, Jordan is the best of his era. LeBron is the best of his era, which is the current era right now. Some people say Durant is there, but I think, in my opinion, LeBron better than Durant. That's just my opinion. Everybody got their own opinion. Nobody really knows who the greatest person is. It's all based off our opinion and how we see things. I see LeBron as better than Durant. Somebody said Steph Curry is the best player. Steph Curry is a shooter. He shoots the lights out. LeBron has the ability to shoot the lights out and take it to the rim. Steph doesn't. To your argument, that makes LeBron better. Does it not?
it does. And
Okay.
look, Steph shoots threes better, but
Yes.
ultimately, when it comes down to scoring the basketball, I mean, they're even. And LeBron's a better rebounder. LeBron's
He's just a physical specimen, bro. Like he's
I can tell you something.
6'9", 6'8", 280 or something. And
When LeBron wants to, he doesn't always play defense anymore. But when LeBron wants to, he can play defense against anyone on the court. You can have him guard the other team's point guard. You can have him guard the other team's center. When they beat the Spurs, he was guarding Tony Parker in the final possessions. Okay? That's absurd. That's absurd. You don't have a guy. I mean, Magic Johnson did it. And aside from Magic Johnson, I don't know anyone who's been out there to go be able to play. LeBron James, I said this. LeBron James could be a point center. Point center. I mean, and that's absurd. He's really the first ever point power forward. If you ever learned a post game, it is absurd what he can do. But back to Otto Graham. Otto Graham played or won a championship every year he was in the league, except one. He went, since they started keeping records, 10-2, 11-1, 8-4, 10-1, 9-3, 9-2-1. But if you put Otto Graham in the top 10 greatest quarterbacks of all time, you're absurd. And that's an example of why you can't go by rings. Different game, different era. I would go so far as to venture that Otto Graham couldn't make a team in today's NFL if you went in a time machine to 1946 and brought him to today. Couldn't make a team.
Real quick, we're going to close out real fast. I want to ask you a question. Have you seen any more footage on Ronnie?
No.
Saw something saw it today, actually. He might have something. How tall is he? About 6'2", 6'3"?
I thought 6'4", but let me look it up.
That tall? He's 16, 17 years old? Something like that. What I saw today, I'll find it and send it to you later. And then you let me know what you think about it. But what I saw today, yeah, you might have some smoke there. At first I thought, yeah, you may not make it to the league. No, you say he's 6'2".
Okay, I heard he posterized someone in a
Dude, boy, it was bad, bro. It was bad. It was bad. He dribbled down the court with the left, and he was moving like he was running a 40-yard sprint. Then the dude bodied him up, and he went up with the left, switched to the right, and dunked it with the right, and then backpedaled. Like he dunked it, came to complete stop.
I'm watching it right now.
Watch, man. He might have something. He might be a bad boy. I gotta watch more stuff on him, but that right there, that was nasty, dude. That was nasty. And he did it like without any effort whatsoever, bro.
You're gonna find out what Bronny James is over the next 2 years. Okay, yeah. It's not cut and dry like his dad. By the time that he was a freshman in high school, that he was going to dominate the league and that he was the next coming of Michael Jordan. But what he could be and what he might be. Oh, here it is. What he could be and what he might be is yet to be determined.
That was nasty. Dude.
I mean, yeah.
He got up high, bro. Look how high he gets up. Come in, switch it, boom. Oof.
Speed's there. The athleticism's there. Skills look to be there.
He ain't really
What will
grown to his
develop
body
in the
yet.
next,
Like LeBron
yeah.
came in skinny too, but I think not Bryce, but LeBron son gonna be big too. So this kid Bryce is 15 years old. They don't show his height or anything, but he's playing basketball too. I think he was playing with his brother. Last I saw a video, him and his brother on the court together. So, and he's a little bit shorter than his brother Bronny. So, yeah, we'll see. We will see. It's interesting to watch because this guy got two sons that should come to the league, be in the league, and we'll see what happens. So it's Michael Jordan's son didn't play in the league, did he?
No,
And what about Dwayne Wade's son?
I don't believe so.
So we'll see if LeBron can get both of his boys in the league, which should be very interesting to watch that happen. James saga continues. All right, so we're gonna take off for this week. We are back.
You ready for him to come back to Cleveland after next
Feels good. We'll talk about that next week. We get close to the NBA season. Talk about that.
We're going to talk about
Browns.
what we think the Browns' record will be next week, or what happens the difference
I
between
wanna
Deshaun
wait.
Watson and Baker. We got sidetracked.
I want to wait till we get to close to the season starting before we do our final predictions. I want to see what happens with Watson first. Then we'll give our final predictions on who's going to be out there playing. Who we got this week for a preseason game? So we got the Bears in Seattle playing Thursday. Carolina's playing the Patriots. Let's check that out. We want to see what happens with that and Baker. Saints of Green Bay, Texans at the Rams, Broncos and Bills. That should be interesting. Lions and Colts, Commanders and Chiefs, Bucks and Tennessee, Raiders and Dolphins, 49ers and the Vikings. I want to see what this Trey Lance kid is all about. I didn't really get a chance to watch him. I want to see what he's about. The Squealers and the Jaguars. Hey, this Pickett kid, they talking about the hype is real. It's preseason. Chill, bruh. The hype is real. It's preseason. Relax on that for a minute. Take some psychedelics like my boy Rogers or something. Chill for a minute, okay? Talk about that next week too. I want to talk about that next week too. Psychedelics. No suspensions. Okay. We got the Eagles. We have the Eagles here. So let's see what happens with the Philadelphia Eagles here. Bengals got the Giants, Ravens at Cardinals, and Falcons at the Jet Jets.
Jets, Jets.
I dropped the S.
I'm going to tip my hand a little bit.
Talk to me.
With Deshaun Watson, this team should be very, very good. And it's a playoff team for sure. It is a Super Bowl contender for sure. There's no reason it shouldn't be. I think they're a playoff team for sure with Jacoby Brissett, but it just depends how good the defense is and how healthy the offensive line stays.
What?
How far they can get in the playoffs with Jacoby Brissett.
What?
And I'm gonna owe Jason Snyder a dinner.
We gonna talk about this one, buddy. All right. Hey, for our producer Lewis, thank you very much for getting us back on the air. For my co-host Scott Kenneth, I'm TJ Hill, and we will see you next Monday night. Peace.
See you next Monday.